From Toothless still being a baby when he defeated 2 alphas to the deleted scene that changes everything about how he and the Light Fury actually fell in love, today we're breaking down 10 hidden details you didn't notice in How to Train Your Dragon. But first, if Toothless is your favorite dragon, drop a black dragon emoji. And if you grew up with this franchise, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Number 1. The Light Fury has no name. And that detail is a setup. What if I told you the Light Fury being nameless wasn't an oversight, and it's been quietly setting up the next movie since 2019? In the Dragon Manual, every species has a name, a danger class, a documented weakness. The Light Fury has none of that, because she was never encountered by Vikings. She was never studied, never recorded, never classified. She doesn't exist in any database. Here's the theory. In the new movie, Hiccup's son tries to look her up in the expanded Dragon Eye database, and finds nothing. No entry, no record, blank. Which forces him to do exactly what his father did with Toothless. Start completely from scratch. No rulebook, no manual, no shortcut. Except this time it's even harder, because the Dragon Eye has been lost or corrupted, and he has to rebuild everything from zero. The Light Fury's namelessness isn't a forgotten detail. It's a narrative reset button that Pixar hid in plain sight 6 years ago. And the next film might be the moment it finally goes off. What would you name her? Drop it in the comments. Number 2. How did Drago actually get an alpha dragon? Drago Bloodfist walked in with a bewilderbeast under his control, but nobody ever explained how he got it, until you look at the Netflix series and the full picture becomes genuinely disturbing. In the series, Drago sent a villain named Krogan to find and capture an alpha, specifically a bewilderbeast. Krogan failed. Drago killed him on the spot, but Krogan had already seen something important. He watched an alpha freeze entire walls with its breath and reported it back before he died. So Drago now knew 2 things: what an alpha could do and where to find one. Cold places, remote ones. So Drago went alone and he found it. The bewilderbeast he controls in the second film is covered in scars. Its tusks are chained. That's not decoration. That's the record of what Drago did to break it. He didn't earn the alpha's loyalty. He trapped it, hurt it, and made it afraid. And that's exactly what the whole film is really about. Drago's power came from fear. Hiccup's came from respect. The final battle wasn't just Toothless versus a bewilderbeast. It was one philosophy defeating another. Number 3. Toothless was just a baby when he did all of this. Here's the detail that reframes the entire franchise in about 30 seconds. Night Furies live for over 1,000 years. When Toothless met Hiccup, he was roughly the same age, which means by his species standards, he was basically a toddler. Not a warrior, not a seasoned alpha, a child. And yet, he soloed the Red Death. He soloed the Bewilderbeast. He earned 3 separate titles: Legendary Dragon, Alpha, and Alpha of Alphas. Even the Eruptidons, an entire class of alpha dragons, bowed the moment they heard his roar. All of that as a preteen. Here's where it gets insane. Toothless has not come close to his peak yet. A true Titan wing form involves a fully mature appearance, entirely new powers, reinforced spikes across the body and wings, and a presence so overwhelming it generates a menacing aura just by existing. Toothless dominated 2 alphas before he was even close to that stage. So what happens when he actually grows up? What does a fully matured Toothless look like? The hidden world might not be big enough to contain the answer. Number 4. 3 deleted scenes that were cut for a reason. These scenes didn't make the final films, and once you watch them, you understand why, but you also wonder why they didn't. First, the deleted Toothless and Light Fury scene. In the film, they bond over his new tail fin. Sweet, gentle, the classic love story moment. But in the deleted version, Toothless sees the Light Fury's tail and bites it. She immediately flips him forward and bites his back. They end up tumbling through the sky together, tangled and chaotic. It's unhinged, and it's completely in character for 2 wild animals figuring out attraction. The tame version got used. The real version got cut. Second, Hiccup loses control of his Inferno weapon in front of his mother. It drags him wildly across the room. Cloudjumper immediately moves to protect Valka. The scene was cut, but it would have shown Hiccup's relationship with his mother in a way the final film never quite found time for. Third, in the dragon rescue sequence, Snotlout almost gets ambushed, and it's Valka who saves him. He earns a real moment of admiration for her. That was cut too. In the final version, he just gets carried away by Hookfang while Valka chats in the background. All 3 cuts made the movie smoother, and all 3 cuts made it slightly less honest. Number 5. Drago is one of the most underrated villains ever made. Most people remember Drago as the guy who took Toothless, but watch him again and you realize this man is terrifying in ways the movie barely had time to show. When Stoic dies saving Hiccup from Toothless, Drago turns around and smiles. Not a villain gloat, a genuine private satisfaction, like something clicked into place exactly the way he wanted, and then instead of killing Hiccup, which was the plan, he walks away. He leaves him alive. on purpose, because he wants Hiccup to feel the exact same loss he felt as a child. That's not cruelty. That's a deeply personal, calculated emotional wound. Then there's the moment with Hiccup's flying device. Hiccup spent years developing it, weeks learning to use it with Toothless. Drago picks it up, glances at it for a few seconds, and he's in the air, and he hid his bewilderbeast under his own ships, knowing they would be destroyed the second it surfaced. He sacrificed his entire fleet just to maintain the element of surprise. Every move Drago made was 3 steps ahead of everyone else, and most people still think he was just the angry villain who showed up in the second film. Number 6. Toothless's children were stronger than him, and they ruled for 1,000 years. At the end of the 3rd film, Toothless and the Light Fury have 3 children, but here's what most people don't realize. Those children aren't Night Furies. They can't be. Night Furies are extinct. Toothless is the last one. What they are is something new, a hybrid species called Nightlights, and Nightlights are more powerful than either parent. From their father, they inherited plasma blasts, lightning channeling, and alpha power. From their mother, they inherited the ability to vanish into the sky and escape any situation. Combined, they are faster, harder to catch, and genetically built to lead. And lead they did. Toothless's descendants ruled over dragons for 1,000 years. We know this from Dragons, the 9 Realms, which takes place in the same universe but a millennium later. In that show, the largest of Toothless's line passes the alpha power to a dragon named Thunder before dying. Toothless's species went extinct, but his bloodline didn't. He didn't just survive. He started an entirely new dynasty that outlasted him by centuries. Number 7. The alternate beginning of How to Train Your Dragon 3 that nobody saw. The opening we got in HTTYD 3 is great, but the director revealed there was a completely different beginning, and it was shelved before it was even fully animated. In the original version, Hiccup and Toothless are on a new island, exploring and searching for undiscovered species. Hiccup is wearing his flight suit. They encounter the Crimson Ripper, a wild, isolated dragon living near a volcanic area. Hiccup tries to rescue it and bring it back to Burke. The dragon is not interested. It chases him to the edge of a cliff, and just before things go badly, Toothless uses his alpha roar to defuse the entire situation. Then comes the hand scene, and all 3 of them fly back to Burke together. The director said the whole point of the scene was to show how far Hiccup had grown, but more importantly, to make clear that no matter how capable Hiccup had become, Toothless was still essential to him, still the one who showed up when it mattered. That scene never made it into the film. It exists only as a storyboard on the Blu-ray. Which version would you have preferred? Let me know in the comments. Number 8. The real hierarchy of the most powerful dragons ever. Not all alpha dragons are equal, and the ranking goes much higher than most fans realize. At the lower end is the Fireworm Queen, a super giant class dragon so massive that a monstrous nightmare is only the size of its mouth. It can carry ships on its back and has the power to destroy all of Burke. That's the floor of this list. Above that is the Screaming Death, a dragon so dangerous that every Viking who tried to document it never came back alive. It doesn't appear in the Book of Dragons, it stays underground, and it can control whispering deaths, which suggests alpha-level ability without the official title. Above that is an ancient, legendary dragon the size of an island, so large that villages have been accidentally built on top of it, while it slept for thousands of years. An eternal wing class, ancient beyond measurement, and still above all of them, the Crimson Gore Cutter. Each of these dragons operates on a completely different scale, and Toothless, as a pre-teen, stood at the top of all of them, which brings us back to the question nobody can fully answer yet. What happens when he grows up? Number 9. Could any alpha dragon control the Purple Death? This is one of the most interesting power questions in the entire franchise, and the answer depends entirely on which alpha you're asking about. If it's Toothless, probably not. Toothless leads through bonds and moral authority. His roar works on dragons that respect hierarchy and are capable of loyalty. The Purple Death doesn't operate that way. Its instinct is pure domination, not social structure. Toothless's influence would likely bounce right off. A regular bewilderbeast would struggle for the same reason. The Purple Death's drive to dominate is so deeply hardwired that standard alpha influence probably can't override it. But there is one exception. The Titanic Bewilderbeast, the ancient one we only know from its skeleton, is in a different category entirely. Its form of psychic control was likely several magnitudes stronger than any living alpha we've seen. A mental manipulation powerful enough to reach even a creature that refuses to acknowledge authority. If anything could bring the Purple Death to heel, it was that. And it's been dead for centuries. Which means right now, in the current world of the franchise, the Purple Death might be the one dragon that answers to nothing. Number 10. The detail about Drago that changes how you watch everything. Go back to the second film knowing this one thing, and every scene with Drago hits completely differently. Drago lost his family to dragons when he was a child. He watched them die. He was the only survivor, and the lesson he took from that that wasn't grief, it was a philosophy that the only way to survive in a world with dragons is to make them fear you more than anything else. That's not a villain motivation. That's a traumatized child who built an entire worldview around the worst day of his life. And then Hiccup shows up with Toothless, proof that everything Drago believed was wrong, that dragons could be trusted, that fear wasn't the answer, that the bond Drago decided was impossible was not only possible but natural. Drago didn't hate Hiccup because he was an obstacle. He hated him because Hiccup's entire existence was an argument against the thing that kept Drago alive for decades. The smile after Stoic dies, the decision to leave Hiccup breathing, the way he masters the flight device in seconds. None of it is random cruelty. It's a man who has been right about everything his whole life and cannot afford to be wrong now. That detail was always there. Most people just watch the surface of it. And that's it. Which one hit you hardest? Toothless still being a child when he defeated two alphas, the deleted scenes, or the real reason Drago left Hiccup alive? Let me know in the comments. If you want the next part, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed because we've got even more secrets to uncover next time.